It's Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. And everybody's talking about what's going on in the world of sports. The fallout from WrestleMania. What happened at AEW? If you're a fan of the NHL, you're wondering who's in, who's out. Maybe you just went to the movies. Maybe you're getting ready to watch UFC. Well, forget about all of that. Because tonight, figuratively and literally, we're going to really call it in the ring. The reason I say that is because we're going to actually watch a match with yours truly on the call that took place between two companies. That's right, two companies in SFW and XCW, and one of the wrestlers that's going to be involved in the match is just coming off figuratively and literally retiring his former stepfather. I don't know how we're going to try to top that. And also, the man with us here on the top, he's actually here for the second time in a week and 3 times in 10 days. Is that allowed in XCW? Do we really get to speak to wrestlers more than once, and let alone a week, a month, and 3 times? It has to be a record of some sort of appearances. Maybe we should ask our first 2-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer from XCW if he's really taking over Sportswire Radio. He certainly really brings the views, and he really certainly knows how to bring up his A game here. But we're really going to talk about all of that here and some. Ladies and gentlemen, these two men need no further introduction. They've been here on multiple occasions, and certainly on Mr. Parsley's case, he's been here 3 times in 10 days. I mean, we know that Omen Black and Soldier GP are out there. After all, it's Omen Black's show, and Mr. Parsley's been on here more times in 10 days than Omen Black has been on here more than 10 days. Certainly, that has to be a record of some sort. Certainly, Mr. Black might want to charge Mr. Parsley rent, but we'll certainly not get to that here. After all, inflation is hurting everybody's wallets these days. But I certainly could go on and on and on about these guys, and they certainly need no further introduction, but it is Saturday night. It is Sportswire Radio, and as I'm reminded by Mr. Christian, who's even got a future star here, Jacoby, watch out. You may say that you're the future. Look at who Daddy's got here. You might certainly want to be on borrowed time here, kind of maybe like Daddy in some ways in his company, but we'll certainly not get to that. But as Mr. Christian has reminded me, Sportswire Radio is kind of the Tonight Show of backyard and underground wrestling. So it is prime time. Let's give these men the introduction that they deserve. You're waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. As a matter of fact, I was actually falling asleep until it was like, oh, it was 9:30. Let's get ready to rumble. So certainly like when Batman puts the cape on or Superman gets out of the telephone booth and gets ready to go, that's what we do here on Sportswire Radio. So let's give these men the introductions, because especially the baby is going to certainly be crying. Maybe crying more so than Mr. Christian was in the ring. We'll certainly get to that here and some. But so with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show from SFW. Simply put, he's going to give us a mic drop because his name is Michael Christian. And a man who has made more appearances in the last 10 days on Sportswire Radio than the nemesis, James Taylor, Soldier GP, the real deal, Anthony Steele, and even Omen Black, who, oh, by the way, he holds a victory over Omen Black. XCW Hall of Famer, and the second two-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer, straight from Mulholland Drive. He's the first real wrestler, and his name is Justin Parsley. Fellas, how you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for that introduction, as always.
Beautiful introduction. Beautiful.
Now, what's his name? I'm not concerned about SFW and XCW. I want to know who this is. And this is the future. Everybody says Jacoby's the future, but I think this might be the future here.
This is Everest. We call him the Chunkernaut. It's a hit on the Juggernaut. I'm a big comic book guy, big superhero guy, but he loves to headbutt. I can't tell you the number of times I've been headbutted in the last week.
Are you training him? Are you training him for SFW? Is that what this is?
It's not really training. It's just with autism, when they like to do something, you either have to correct it or let them enjoy it. And I'm just trying to raise the kids the best I can, like any loving father would do their best to.
Well, I certainly have no doubt that you're going to do it. And speaking of fathers, obviously, Justin, we hope that Esther Jane is doing well, and we certainly want to keep Mandy in our thoughts here. But obviously, Mount Everest seems like more of an appropriate name here for Everett, Mount Everest. But
Everest. It's Everest.
I was kind of figuring it out, but obviously we do love the bow tie. But gentlemen, it's good to be with you once again. As I stated, Mr. Parsley, you have been here more times than some of the usual suspects here on this platform, like for you, obviously. And when it comes to James Taylor, Anthony Steele, the real deal, he used to work in XCW once upon a time, was a champion here, and two men that you certainly are no strangers to in Soldier GP and Omen Black. But, first of all, fellas, how you doing? And tonight, actually, with the two of you guys, it probably is a good segue for those that are kind of wondering what the heck is going on and why are they here.
You want to start off there, Michael?
I'll let the DJ go first. Let the DJ control everything since...
Ooh. And I saw karaoke was going on last night out there, by the way. I saw that they were doing karaoke, by the way.
Yeah, you saw the pictures, the videos and stuff.
I saw Candy Crush. I saw Jackson Roll. I saw you.
Merriman was out there. The Seminole Warrior was out there. We got all the XCW superstars.
I hope the Seminole Warrior is okay, by the way. I hope that he's still doing okay.
Yeah. Seminole Warrior is recovering well. Yes, yeah, he was good enough to be drinking at least. But
that's good. Certainly, he probably forgot about what happened. I'll explain why.
Yeah. Let's just take it back real quick, Michael. How you and I met. I mean, I think it was maybe like a year ago. Is that right?
Yeah.
Extreme King. Pinpoint it. Okay, Extreme King. So
Extreme King. I came down for Father's Day because what does a dad do? He usually gets to choose what he wants to do. I came down to see the company that I love so dear. XCW. It was their Extreme King. The exact words you said to me is, "What a beautiful family you have there." I will never forget those words, man.
Now, was that including Festus? Not including Festus.
That was including Festus. It was yeah, and so we hit it off, and we didn't stop talking. We kept coming up with ideas, and he invited me on his podcast or an interview on his YouTube channel. We went on there. I didn't see that.
We spoke about that here before in the past. That I'm aware of. We know the history there.
Yeah, so that's kind of how this all started, and I thought that it would be appropriate if I gave him the same respect and invited him on my podcast.
And I noticed that your podcast was actually happening on XCW TV, which I'll explain in a few minutes. I think that has to be a first, and I was surprised you got permission for it.
You and me both. Oh,
boy, pipe on there. But, Mr. Christian, a year is coming up. And, obviously, you go on his podcast. You're obviously I'm sure we're going to talk about some of the things you did. But, you're coming off a lot of momentum, certainly. I guess maybe are you feeling extra confident going into what we're going to talk about? Obviously, as I mentioned in my introduction, I've had you on here before, but this is the first time I'm formally having you here kind of in an actual interview, you might say. And,
you must be feeling pretty good going into what I'm going to show here soon, because you actually retired the man that was once your stepfather. So you got to be feeling like you're on cloud nine, more or less. I mean, maybe like those that actually get a good match to be called by your your stepdad, by the referee, the 1, 2, 3 properly. Your former stepdad, actually.
My very first match in a ring. The feeling, I asked so many different people, does this feeling ever go away? There's guys who've been doing this 20, 15 years, but no, that feeling does not go away. So let's just go with the momentum is what I was thinking. And well, at the end of the match, we all have watched it. If you haven't, go find it. It's not hard to find. I picked up Festus and set him on the chair. Justin got in my face like I was going to do something, but he ruined a family moment. So it was just a little bit of...
Well, I think there's something else that goes into it, which I'm glad you segue, is that, Justin, you were the referee of that match. Oh, the irony. You were the referee of the match between father or former father versus son or stepson, stepfather. He's still family. Well, do you technically, when you're a former stepson or stepdad, does it still count?
Let's get off of that term. I will use the term I use with him. He is not a grandfather to my kids, but he is a grand dude. That is what my kids refer to.
Wow, okay. You know what? I give you that much. He's a grand dude. You know what? I mean, that's certainly a first on Sportswire. But the irony, though, is, Justin Parsley, once again, you were certainly in the middle of controversy. You were in the center of it all because you were the referee of this match between Michael Christian and Festus Davis's final match in a ring. I mean, what do you say to that? Did you know that this was going to be maybe something in return for that? I mean, what do you say?
No, I had no idea it was going to turn into this. I think whenever I heard that Festus was going to be retiring, which I'd never even seen him wrestle prior to, I was just...
Oh, you didn't watch the tapes back in 2018? You didn't watch all the famous footage that everybody's...
I had not caught up. I'm still trying to catch up.
Wasn't it a big topic in the locker room?
About Festus retiring?
No, about Festus wrestling in the past.
Oh no, that wasn't a topic. No, because because Festus was grandfathered in as the senior referee, and he's so good at what he does.
For seriously, his referee skills. Yes, his referee skills are. He is one of the best, pound for pound. Period.
Yeah. And so I wanted to pay him the respects of sending him off the right way, and then obviously the match was like no DQ. So what do I do besides stand there mostly? And I thought I was just counting the 3, and that was going to be the end of it. And Michael's right. I did kind of stand up to him when I thought he was coming back to attack Festus, but it wasn't to ruin any family moment. And you guys aren't even family anymore, so you shouldn't be too upset.
That's what I was wondering. Like, how do we refer to something like this here? He
is a grand dude. I will give you that. Festus is a grand dude.
Oh, okay, so let me ask you then this, Michael, and going into it, which we'll go to in a few minutes. We have a couple comments. We'll start getting people into the conversation here shortly. But did it dawn on you that the man you met nearly a year ago was the referee of a match that turned out to be the final match of the grand dude's career? Let's put it that way, because you came up with the lingo.
Right. Grand dude. It's catchy. No, I didn't.
It's kind of catchy. I'll give you that much.
I didn't even contemplate it. Like it's going to be a few times. I may seem like I'm zoning off because I feel like I'm watching the live broadcast over here on YouTube.
It's okay. You've been here before. You don't have to. This is like, I know we're in prime time, but it's okay. Listen, you're here on the big city. Don't go and be like other guys that come on here and they go start stuttering and hemming and hawing. You know the deal. You watched enough of these. Come on.
I'm not Jackson Law. I'll do the best I can.
Okay, well, I'm sure that's a shoot. I'm sure Jackson, is out there. Will probably be on an Uber ride somewhere and stop and want to drop and open up shop, or maybe we'll compare his commentary. I guess that was references to a DMX. So maybe you guys did that in karaoke yesterday. Did you guys do DMX in karaoke last night or no?
No, we did some Shaggy though.
Okay, well, certainly it wasn't me that certainly said some of those things just now. But I told you guys I'm working on stand-up comedy. But okay, so. We obviously see what happened, and again, and I'm going to put the plugs up here in a few minutes. I have the banners up, all the descriptions. We're going to get to that in a second. But before we do that, Justin Parsley, you're the referee of this match. You've done a little bit of refereeing, not too much in the past, but there was no really any thought, anything at all after this match? And did you think that, hey, this was kind of a novelty act? Michael Christian has this match with Festus Davis. Festus is the grand dude. We don't know him in the ring, and he had this match, and you just basically thought Michael would just go back to being a fan of yours, right? Is that what you thought?
I mean, yeah, in theory, I guess, or a guest on my podcast at the very least. And then I feel like that went awry when he put his hands on Seminole Wooten.
Technically,
Seminole
Justin,
Warrior, Josh
I didn't
Wooten,
put my
whatever.
hands on him. I never touched him with my hands.
Okay,
Even the
when you put
dollar
your
bill,
hands on
$2
the
bill, I
chair
put in
and
his
then
mouth.
put the chair on his head. I had
But
a
you know,
problem with
Michael,
that
but
too.
there is a point as we're going to go into this, and maybe we'll actually watch the podcast, which leads into the match, and I'll do the commentary of that. So we'll do that in a few minutes. But, you know, you were actually putting your hands on somebody that's not an in-ring competitor. What was the reason of that, though? There is a valid point. I mean, you're on a podcast. I mean, generally speaking, you're not supposed to put or have some type of physical altercations with a fellow podcast. I know that many people watching this would certainly love to basically strangle me after so many things I've said on Sportswire in the past, but this is different with Seminole Warrior. I mean, you know, just any thoughts on that before we play it on the screen and you know, obviously put some banners up here in a second?
Okay, we'll go off of this one. He made a joke about buying my family from me. That is the one thing that I always hold precious. I didn't even take off my wedding ring during a hardcore match, which could have been ripped off in the ropes, ripped off in a turnbuckle, whatever. That is the first time it's come off my hand since I got married.
Oh, wow, okay. And
then second,
that's
you don't put me in a ring with shiny metal things. You got to realize one of my favorite wrestling tag teams were the Chair Swinging Freaks in ECW. Putting chairs with a guy like me, I would have been happier sitting on the ground.
So maybe you need some therapy for your self-control issues, is what it
There's not
sounds
enough
like.
money in the world for therapy.
Well, somebody cue up the song "Once Upon a Time" Therapy. I believe that was a famous song which Ozzy Osbourne did some vocals on. But let me, before I do a few things, get to some comments here. I want to say hello to one of my buddies who's also in the Hall of Fame. He is our only general manager in the Hall of Fame, Mr. Hillbilly Tilly. And there's an individual who was referenced of my words tonight that has a comment just specifically pointing out your name. Guy rings a bell? You remember the name?
I'm familiar with Soldier GP. Yeah, rings a bell.
Okay. Rings a bell?
He's rang my bell, I ring his bell. So yeah, we ring some bells.
Now, did you guys do Anita Baker? Was it Anita Bell? Ring my bell, ring my bell. Did you do it last night?
We didn't do that last night, no. Do you want to hear it next time? We might be able to get it in.
Oh, you know what? I mean, I'm sure, listen, you know, if we can get more people to come out and do karaoke, sure, why not? I mean, I'm sure, you know, the other Blackheart would probably do a number on that. I mean, you know, I'm sure Tommy the Man Merriman rings a lot of bells in the ring right now, but hopefully not yours coming up. If that happens, you know, with EBW and XCW. And, you know, Jackson Law, I'm sure, is, you know, ringing some bells to find law and order.
You're naming all of the best karaoke singers we have in XCW.
And then there's the Candy Crush. Everybody wants to look at everybody wants to look at the Candy Crush right now because everybody's got a Candy Crush on the Candy Crush. And
everybody has a Candy Crush.
I mean, I would definitely have a Candy Crush, but I mean, I think I'm all the way in New York, but that's a different conversation for a different time. Hi there, Candy Crush. But apparently, before we get to some things, Mr. Soldier GP would like to say Hell's Bells. I mean, you know, is that
AC/DC reference? AC/DC.
Yeah. Does that? Well, I don't know if we want to do that because that would really bring some hell, right? I mean, you know, we don't want.
You brought me here.
We're gonna see a lot of hell in the ring for sure. You know, I have no doubt about that. But okay, well, fair enough. Okay, so before we actually put the matchup on the screen, I actually want to get to a bunch of links here. First of all, let's promote XCW. You can do that here in a couple of different ways. First of all, YouTube, XCW Shelbyville, XCW All Access. We're gonna obviously get a chance to watch the show. XCW_Shelbyville, Instagram, XC Wrestling 1, Twitter, Facebook, XCW Shelbyville. And if you want to get some merchandise, you can do that on the XCW website. XCW's got their next big show coming up in a few weeks. Vortex was out this past Thursday. Mm-hmm. Make sure you check all of that out. A lot of great stuff. Jackson Law was in action, who actually defended the EBW championship against an EBW wrestler. And I'm not going to spoil it for you in case you haven't seen it. But wanted to get to a couple of comments here. First of all, the man that's actually going to take his place, this is actually a spoiler, he's going to take his place into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame this coming Friday, the good guy, CJ Black, who's defeated an XCW talent not once but twice, a former champion in XCW, the destructive Jack Delta, and also has defeated another guy that was in XCW, JX, by the way. We've seen him in XCW. And there's the good guy, CJ Black, and says, clicked for David Spade, slightly happy that it's not actually David Spade. So have you ever heard the David Spade reference toward you? Because that's a name.
That would be the second time I've heard it. The second time.
And would he be the second time he gave it to you, or somebody else actually did?
No, it was someone else.
Was that a karaoke yesterday?
It was at karaoke. But she was drunk, so I'm gonna go ahead and give CJ Black the benefit of the doubt and just assume he's effed up right now too.
No, I don't know about that. I'm gonna say here that before we do anything, where am I gonna take Parsley when we finally meet one-on-one? What do you say to that?
Is that like the Hell's Bells reference, or?
Could be. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're going to go on a highway to hell. I don't know. I
don't know. I mean, any drive to Iowa would be a highway to hell.
That would. Well, is that a real one there? Is that a real shot at Iowa?
I don't know. I hear it's a scenic route at least. We'll see what it's like.
Okay, well, before we get to a couple of things, I really want to get to the things. I want to say hello to Mr. Omen Black, who's going into the podcasting business. I saw he did a podcast yesterday, and he did another one before we went there, which I caught some of it. But I caught some of it. I admittedly I was napping the first part of it. POS. Well, we can't repeat what the POS means, but he does say that you were on his show. What a loser! Now he's on my main show, and also Mr. Black, Mr. Parsley's been here 3 times in 10 days.
Isn't POS just a point of sale? Is that not?
You could say that, but I don't know if he's referring to point of sale, though. I don't. Something tells me he's not referring to the lingo of point of sale. But I could be wrong. I certainly could be wrong. Maybe there's a lot of things I could certainly do better with. But let me get to a couple of plugs here first of all before we get to XCW, because I actually want to put up the XCW Instagram page. So if you want to follow XCW, there's a lot of great ways you can do that. I want to make sure we plug XCW because obviously we're having XCW coverage here once again. Yep, that's right, XCW coverage once again. So if somebody's out there, this is what it is. So you've got some stuff here that you're going to see on all different platforms from XCW. We see different people, different names, many people that have been on the platform. So if you want to check out XCW, you can do that here. Also, you can support XCW and on their YouTube channel, which I'm going to bring up here shortly as well. So I'm going to take this off and going to make sure that we come up here with this, because if everybody is out there, you should support XCW. And I'm going to get to the XCW All Access channel. But if you want to, Vortex is out there. A lot of people are talking about what happened at Vortex. A lot of people are talking about what happened at many other shows here for XCW. Hungry for Gold's already been all over the place. Glory, I mean, wasn't so much glory for you in the Essential One, Rob Slater, but it was glorious to have you on to be inducted as a 2-time Hall of Famer on Monday's show. And I know that you'll certainly be hungry for some answers coming up here in the next show, but obviously those are some things here. But obviously...
The All Access is where you're going to catch Festus.
I'm going to get to that in a second. Yeah, I'm going to get that. I'm going to actually get to that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up here right now. So I'm actually
going to jump the gun there.
No. Listen. It's Omen's show, so you only can jump the gun and make Omen mad, not me mad. Because I'm just here right.
Permanently mad at me, so that's all right.
Well, you know what? You'll certainly find out. I think I'm going to do something else. So let me actually get to the XCW All Access page first. Before I do that, I actually want to bring you guys up in a different angle, because it's going to really make sure this gets really tense here. So let's go like this, and then we're going to go like this before we do anything. Going to go like this, and then now I'm going to be able to share my screen, because that's the magic of technology, which only took me like 6 months to master. But there we go here. All right, so we got this. We're going to bring this back up. I'm going to take you guys now here. Oh, wrong way. That's the wrong one. Okay, there we go. We're going to go like this. Now, add to this. There we go. Okay, so that's where we're at. So I'm going to now bring this back up. And what I'm going to do here for the audience, just so people know, we're going to be watching Justin Parsley versus Michael Christian. But just a spoiler alert here, the first several minutes isn't actually wrestling, and they kind of set the tables for us. And before we do anything else, I want to say hello to my buddy Nate. Nate is here. Hello, and obviously, Nate, thank you for tuning in as always. And Nate, stand back and get the popcorn ready, because yours truly is going to be on call here. I'm actually going to be calling another match, and hope that you enjoy. But so this is what's going to take place here. It's Justin Parsley versus Michael Christian, SFW versus XCW, and you're going to be in for a treat. So we're going to put the volume up for the first maybe 7 or 8 minutes, Then before we get to the match, I'm going to pause it, ask you guys what you think about what happened, and then I'll go on the call and do the play-by-play, and basically we'll pretend that Jackson Law wasn't on commentary because I'm going to do the commentary instead, and you can actually see who did the better. But we love Jackson Law. He does a great job. He does a lot of commentary and different things, and shout out to him with his other company, CBW. But let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. So hang on tight. We're going to play here this particular instance into what led to Justin Parsley versus Michael Christian here coming up. So stand back.
Die down.
Do they pay extra for the pyro there?
That's included.
That was beautiful, by the way, there at the end. Welcome to XCW Vortex!
Woo!
And we have a special treat for you tonight. You might recognize my friend right here, my good friend, the Seminole Warrior. We are here tonight, Justin Parsley, the Seminole Warrior, for a very special treat for the XCW Galaxy. Do you want to tell them what this is about?
The Circle of Jerks have made it to XCW.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good rock impression. I'm not even going to lie. The Circle of Jerks podcast is here. We're live. This is the first ever live episode of the Circle of Jerks podcast. It's episode 53, and there could only be one appropriate guest that I could think of. I don't know. I know you rattled off a couple of names to me. Some of them were dead. Most of them were made up, but...
I had a whole list. It's right here. It's everywhere.
I know. It was actually longer than that. Yeah. Tonight, a very special treat for everybody. We are going to have Michael Christian on the Circle of Jerks podcast. So Michael Christian, who is fresh off his match with Ref Festus, the retirement match of Ref Festus.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were a special guest.
I was the special guest referee. Michael Christian, get out here right now.
Interesting attire there, ladies and gentlemen. I would think you'd wear something else, but
I was on the Circle of Jerks podcast. It's the only thing you can wear.
You get to come out doing the Justin Parsley pose and everything too.
Gotta pay homage.
Flattered.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Michael. Can we get this man a mic?
Yeah, we'll give it mine.
Right there, the one in your hand. That's perfect.
This one?
Yeah, that one will work just fine.
Oh, okay.
Michael Christian, go ahead, have a seat here. One more time for Michael Christian, everybody!
We got a mic. We're good. We're good.
Before we get started, I realized you didn't have your lickable asshole, so I brought you a gift, man.
That's appropriate. Okay, yeah, I like that. That's very kind of you. I thank you for
I
that.
say normally most guests get on their knees and suck it from it, but okay.
So I don't know if you've ever watched the show or heard the show before, but we got kind of a formula, just a series of a few questions and, you know, just hypotheticals, right? Really, like
For the most part.
it's nothing that's like detrimental to his life or anything. So you can relax and we're here just to have a good time, right?
Yeah, every week. Every week.
All right, so for this Circle of Jerks episode, welcome to the Circle of Jerks, Michael Christian. I am the host with the most, Justin Parsley. That over there is my obtusely offensive friend.
I am
I
pretty
keep cutting out.
I am pretty
Josh Wooten, Seminole Warrior.
How you doing, everybody?
well, he's a better host than the last podcast you were on. I heard a few months ago on Spotify. So let's just put it out there that way. Pipe bomb there for you.
Well, he's the co-host. He knows his role.
Well, that's the difference. In the last one, you didn't really speak. This one, you're speaking more than like the 8 episodes you did on that one, but different conversation for a different time.
That just would appall. Like mine would be, I would go to anywhere I eat at or any place like that. The meal's already prepared for me. I just walk in, sit down, and they already have videos for me to like watch on my phone, set up so I don't have to like search, let my food get cold. Like that's something stupid rich. So what would you do that would be stupid rich?
Well, let's just say it the right way. I would have me a ring up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and XCW would be there once a month.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Is somebody trying to steal bounty points?
Can I tag out?
Not a good answer. It must be, you know.
Okay.
Ooh.
Michael Christian, who is your Mount Rushmore of wrestling?
Oh, I could see this getting interesting now. Okay, let's hear this.
Your Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Don't overthink this.
Oh, I don't have to overthink it. I mean, Justin is on a Mount Rushmore. I don't know which one, but he is on a Mount Rushmore. But if we're going to go 4 wrestlers, you got to go Rock, Austin, Triple H. It's controversial, but then there's one more.
All right, so I'm sorry to bore you guys with this. Sorry.
And then number 4, Rey Mysterio, my childhood favorite.
It's fucking horrible.
Okay, those are decent.
I guess.
What do you mean, you guess? Ask him another question. Ask him another
wrestlers
question.
like, oh, I did Stone Cold, Rock, Triple H.
I think it's a generational thing. It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Just get here and do your job. I invited you here. I was nice enough to invite you here after what you did last
This
time.
definitely wasn't scripted here. You could certainly tell right now. This is not a scripted XCW segment here.
I want the ref to yell at me. Woo, we're good. All right, rapid fire questions. First thing comes to your mouth. Or ass. Whatever comes down first. Denny's or Waffle House?
I've actually never been to Waffle House.
He's never been to Waffle House?
Right?
What the hell's wrong with you?
I haven't. I'm from New York. We don't have one, though, here. We don't have one here, though.
Okay, that makes more sense.
You got a Waffle House?
That's fair.
Not every Waffle House is like that.
Creed or Nickelback?
Gotta go Nickelback. I love me some Nickelback.
Michael.
No, that'd be James Cerebro getting it back from my mother.
Michael. What made you want to come back into wrestling? What made you come out of retirement and get back into the ring? Or get into the ring for the first time? What was it, Michael?
We're gonna go as cheesy as y'all think I'm gonna sound. We gotta go Benji.
Very cheesy.
Benji?
Yes.
Is there anything else? Is there anybody else you want to prove it to? Or I mean, Benji is the reason all of us are here, right? XCW exists because of Benji. Benji is XCW.
I guess.
What's the other name? I've never actually wrestled him, but his name is Tank. So technically, I am living the dream of 2 right now.
Okay. Is there anybody out here in the audience that you're doing this for?
The family, especially. Like, if you aren't
Your
wrestling,
family's here?
Yeah, in the way back there.
We'll talk about
Okay.
that. So I got another question for you. Where's your allegiance at? EBW, Even Bitches Wine? Or is it XCW, Extreme County Welfare?
Ooh, boys, we're throwing some jams here, and Justin Parsley's going to your family, Michael. This is rather
I found Michael's family.
bizarre here.
Amanda, Everest, I think maybe Adeline. Yeah, they're
Oh.
all back here. They're all real proud of you. I've been talking to them for a minute. They said they were real proud of you.
You married?
He's married, yeah.
How do you afford her? Sweetheart, come here. I got one last question. How much can I buy your family for? I can't afford that family here. How much can I pay? Hold on. I got my wallet. Plenty of cash. Hold on. Hey, come over here and let me show you. Hey, Justin, let me introduce myself to Daddy Warbucks.
The Seminole Warrior, what are you doing?
What is that?
You welfare lookalike. Come on, move on. Michael Christian, that certainly wasn't podcast like. That was more Jerry Springer like it. Seminole Warrior gaining all the Warbucks he's got because he's certainly down for the count. Maybe get him some spelling smoke. Wait a minute.
I was showing you the respect to let you in this fucking ring, and this is what you do. You lay out one of my best friends? That's how you thank me? I can tell that there's something wrong with your upbringing. I think maybe Daddy didn't fucking put the belt to your ass enough. Either your ass or your back, maybe the face of yours. I don't know. Let me look at those eyes. Get those stupid sunglasses out of my face.
Oh.
Don't you ever lay your hands on any of my friends or family again. But since you did, now you get to feel the wrath of Justin Parsley. I've watched your videos. I've seen the Joker face paint. I know how much you look up to me.
That's a callback.
Physically and figuratively.
You understand our tippy toes.
So tonight, what do you say? Me and you, one-on-one. You want that match?
I'm down.
Take it, referee. Steve-O, can you get out here? Help me with this.
I think you're going to certainly need some smelling salt with Seminole Warrior. But we're about to have a match here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get on the call, and it looks like there you have it. Circle of Jerks episode 53 has been cut short because Justin Parsley has just challenged Michael Christian in an XCW versus SFW match. This is happening live on Sportzwire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And please follow XCW All Access on YouTube, XCW Shelby, XCW Wrestling on all their platforms. And we're about to see this all happening live in front of our very eyes. And there he is, Festus Davis. The irony of this, he's going to be the referee of the match. You have to wonder where his allegiances are going to be. I know we're not talking about an XPW show coming up, but obviously we're about to see it really unfold. Now, wait a minute. The loser takes an lashings in front of everybody. This is getting interesting here. We're going to now really get real interesting here. We're about to see it here. People might be wondering who fill in the blanks is Justin Parsley. I think I'm wondering who is Michael Christian. But Michael Christian is the one that came out and he came out in his own blaze of glory and he showed he's got some grapefruits and he's ready to go and he's got all the confidence and the bravado and it looks like it's about to happen, and ladies and gentlemen, it's going to unfold right now here the minute that a rather fresh haircutted Festus Davis gets that belt. It's match time here. Justin Parsley might be feeling a little bit more like his old self in the past, not so much what we've seen recently with the real ones. And let's see what happens here. These guys are about to lock up, and they're locking up here right now. And Justin Parsley, the veteran, has the clear advantage here, and he's got Michael Christian right where he wants him. Obviously, Michael Christian not as experienced as Justin Parsley, and Parsley using those veteran tactics to try to wear down Michael Christian, but what Michael Christian's going to count on here is his own outside athleticism. Obviously, he's a known runner. He's a known athlete. He's competed in a lot of different marathon races and triathlons, and he's going to use that hopefully to hang in here. But Justin Parsley continues to have that firm grip on Michael Christian, and that's got to be his strategy here. And wait a minute, 1, 2, and Michael Christian there smartly is able to reverse that there, showing some agility there, showing some of his own athleticism that people might not have seen from Michael Christian. And there, Michael Christian gets out of it there and got a nice reversal there. And Justin Parsley certainly feeling a bit, but kind of a slow roll up here. Maybe we got him kind of from a bridge, and Justin Parsley reverses it, but that Michael Christian tries to reverse it. But Justin Parsley goes back on offense to try to methodically wear down the less experienced Michael Christian here. So we'll certainly have to see if that's to the advantage of Mr. Parsley from Mulholland Drive, the first real wrestler and the first XCW wrestler to be a two-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and of course, second two-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Between the man that's his show after all, Omen Black, who, by the way, I co-own a company with called the PWF, the Pride Wrestling Federation, but that's a different conversation for a different time. But Justin Parsley here has some type of reverse here where he's got basically Mr. Christian seeing Mr. Parsley's back. You might want to say that Mr. Christian so far looks like he could be more of the Sister Christian Night Ranger version here so far. Maybe you guys will sing that in karaoke coming up here. Maybe people might want to see Candy Crush sing Sister Christian, because obviously she could maybe play some of that in the videos, but she might want to look it up because she probably doesn't even have no idea what that song is and what that video is. But Michael Christian now looks like he's starting to work his way back in the match, and And we see Justin Parsley with a slap there that looks like a real slap, maybe a slap that he would or anybody would give to their child when they're out of line, like Michael Christian has been so far on the podcast and in this match. But obviously, Mr. Parsley getting a little frustrated. But he's going to try to go up to the high rent district here. We'll see if this works here. We'll see if Mr. Parsley channeling the Macho Man Randy Savage will help him. And Mr. Christian's down. Mr. Christian gets back up. He gets back, and Mr. Parsley is feeling that one here. He is definitely really feeling the pain there. But Michael Christian is now back up, and he's got a chance to now get on some offense here and be able to get Mr. Parsley a dose of his own medicine. If you're here for the first time on Sportswire Radio, make sure you check us out at Sportswire Radio 6579. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters, and you want me to call your match, I'll do it. By the way, there's a side Russian leg sweep, very nicely done by Justin Parsley, and we get a 2 there. So Justin Parsley gets maybe the longest 2 count, and they get the XCW double feature. Of course, what XCW does best is those double features and all the different side views you get. XCW's got maybe some of the best editing around here in the underground and backyard wrestling. And Justin Parsley's got what looks like here a modified crossface, and Michael Christian reverses it there. Nicely done there. Gets him at a 2, and Parsley's starting to feel a little bit frustrated there. The veteran getting frustrated here, getting a little bit off his game here. No, this is certainly not some of his matches recently with Tommy the Man Merriman, Brady Branson, or obviously DJ Wahlberg and the artist formerly known as Shane Shaw, but certainly we see now that Justin Parsley is back on offense, which he's been on here through most of the night here. And what's going on through you guys' minds here watching this match here so far? Because it seems like so far that the veteran Parsley has the advantage right now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you're starstruck here. I don't know.
No. I mean, I just tried to stay on top of him. I think you're right. I tried to work on the body parts that he left exposed, and his even though he is a veteran, his younger talent, his more green talent in the ring. So I tried to expose that and use it to my advantage.
Nice suplex off the top ropes, and we get a 2, maybe 2.5 there. And you have to wonder here, is this wearing down Christian? Christian obviously does have a lot of athleticism. We talked about his running background. We talked about some of the other things that he offers, but obviously has not been in a match like this with a veteran in Justin Parsley. Obviously, Justin Parsley is the second longest running XCW Tag Team Champion in company history. So Justin Parsley is coming up maybe the best year of his entire career. And that goes way back to his own federation. Obviously, the days where he was outside as an insurgent, you might want to say, compared to XCW. But obviously, Justin Parsley now is saying, what do we see here? Christian arguing with the grand dude, his ex-stepdad. I don't know if that's the right move, but Christian gets a nice little there, kind of a nice almost back reverse belly-to-belly suplex there. Nice move there for Christian. Christian now starting to...
I like the gym as well right here. That I like going to the gym.
I know we brought up your athletic background is coming in handy because you're hanging in right now. That was another nice suplex there. And you certainly got Parsley right where you want him, and maybe some other people watching are taking notes. I don't know, maybe EBW is taking notes, maybe some other guys outside of XCW are taking notes here. Who knows? But obviously, Michael Christian's done a nice job here, and Justin Parsley is starting to feel some pain here, and you could see the frustration on Parsley's eyes. And there we go. Boy, you know what? That looks real. That definitely did not look like a fake. And there is Justin Parsley. Those punches there are definitely driving hard and heavy into the forehead of Michael Christian. Ladies and gentlemen here, this is really happening live on Sportswire Radio. We truly are all wrestling matters here. So we are certainly going where nobody else goes. Find me a podcast or a radio station that does that we're doing. And Justin Parsley there with another nice move there. And Parsley gets a nice claymore there. It was a nice little claymore there. Maybe not quite as up in the high rent district as one Anthony Steele would get, but that was really a nice claymore from Justin Parsley. So we want to make sure that we are. And by the way, Parsley trying to get for a count, but Christian uses some of his own kind of smarts and wits and is able to get his foot under the rope there. But obviously Parsley trying to go back, and there's Christian. Boy, they puts him right into the turnbuckle, and Parsley is going to feel that one. He is definitely going to feel that far more than when Esther Jane cries right now on Sports by Radio for those that are listening out there. So don't get me
often, by the way.
Well, that's good news for Justin Parsley and certainly Mandy. We hope, obviously, Amanda is doing very well out there, and God bless the family. But now back to the action. And Michael Christian. Michael, I'm not sure if that was the right move, kind of motioning to who, but Justin Parsley, is that the acid slam? It looked like an acid slam there. And the late, great Kurt Acid, of course, Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. We just celebrated his birthday, and that's the acid lock. It's the acid lock. And Michael Christian's got to find a way to fight. He's in the middle of the ring, and Justin Parsley is not able to lock that in, and Michael Christian's able to just get enough to be able to reverse that. And Michael Christian's using that kind of athletic triathlon competition skills, and he gets his arm onto the ropes there, and boy, he gets on and hangs on for dear life. And Michael Christian is showing some, you know what? He's got some fight, he's got some moxie, and maybe he knew something that he had up his sleeve throughout when he certainly attacked Seminole Warrior, and he's holding his own here. And Justin Parsley's got to figure out what can he do to put away Michael Christian. Michael Christian reverses it. RKO! That's an RKO! You got to cover him! Cover him! What are you waiting for, Michael? You've got to get up there. That's where you got a veteran to put him away. But Michael Christian is now looking, and it looks like he's motioning to take off the turnbuckle, and even the stepdad. And yes, Festus Davis is certainly, no, he didn't need his dentures to kind of figure that out there to not allow him that. But obviously, Festus Davis helping up Justin Parsley, rather bizarre there, but that gives Michael Christian exactly what he wants. And it looks like here, Justin Parsley, if he gets put into those, whatever is left of that turnbuckle, Justin Parsley is going to be DOA, and Michael Christian's going to finish the job what Omen Black and Soldier GP could not do in encounters. But now Michael Christian, but wait a minute. Justin Parsley gets an ounce of strength, and boy, those punches, I tell you what, ladies and boy, those are cueing those old Stone Cold punches when he gets a couple of them in there, and Justin Parsley now does a little bit of a sting there, and he tries to go for the Stinger Splash, doesn't quite work out, and Michael Christian, now, you got to put him away here. You have to put away a veteran in Parsley right now. Parsley, a guy who's been worn down here, and the longer this match is going on, it's advantage Michael Christian, but Michael Christian, you've got to come up and you got to get a pin there. This is not going to put him away in 1, 2, and Parsley, a kind of a nonchalant there to Michael Christian. I know you wanted to prove a point here, but you got to get less of a nonchalant count there. And Justin Parsley, you're giving him an opening, and it looks like we're going to see you were trying something, it didn't work out, and Justin Parsley looks like he's going to finish you. Wait a minute! That's it! That's the acid DDT! 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Justin Parsley doesn't even look at Michael Christian, and he points into the camera, and he's smiling, and you know what? David Spade, I don't think, can pull that off. Not even in Joe Dirt he could pull that off. Maybe not even in the Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live when he was bashing Hammer famously on those old Saturday Night Live episodes, but Justin Parsley is getting ready for the belt, and no, that's
want the volume on for this one.
Well, we're going to do that here, ladies and gentlemen, because stand by and parental advisory is warned. So certainly don't try this at home. And Michael Christian, we're about to be...
You're welcome for the ratings spike.
The shirt. Time to take the lashings like a man.
Oh my God.
This first one's for Jay Ellison.
Oh my God! Michael Christian in that cold Indiana weather with just nothing. Oh my God! That is certainly not the SWF days of old. Boy, that's gonna hurt. Atomic Titan didn't take a tenth of that. But XCW no return time. Oh, boom! Boom! If you thought you saw what happened with Mikey Anarchy and Rad Dad Bradley Belmont, just look at Michael Christian and his back, and he's going from, whoa. Did Michael Christian just say something that he should not have said? Oh, boy. That's a shoot. That's a shoot, ladies and gentlemen. That is real. Oh, my God. Somebody call the coroner. Somebody call a paramedic, because Michael Christian's back looks like it's going to certainly see some colors. And no, I'm not talking about the Ice-T song that the gang might sing at karaoke at Kendall's coming up next Friday. But boy, oh boy, Michael Christian, just stay down, Michael Christian. Don't get back up. because this is going to be more painful than anything else anybody has seen. Kids, do not try to film. Oh my God!
Oh my God!
XC dub! Oh my God! You hit for the legs! Oh my God! Enough is enough already! Michael Christian, we got the point. Enough! Listen, Woman Black Soldier GP, do you sure you want this again? Look at what Justin Parsley is doing. If for EBW, this could be a sign for what's to come in 3 weeks. I mean, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, as some would say. Oh my God, Michael Christian. You shouldn't step foot in XCW anytime soon, especially when it comes to Justin Parsley. Justin Parsley has snapped tonight on Sportswire Radio. Maybe he's had enough of what's happened with Jackson Raw on Monday show. Maybe he's had enough of the calling out from Omen Black and Soldier GP. Maybe he's had enough of the disrespect from EBW. But Justin Parsley has proved a point tonight on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. Michael Christian, you might have gained some respect, but just maybe, it wasn't the right thing to do to go on Circle of Jerks. And XCW All Access, where you can get more shows like this and more matches. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We just saw what unfolded here between Justin Parsley and Michael Christian. Fellas, obviously now you've had a chance to certainly digest what has happened, and I'm going to bring you guys now a little bit closer here next to each other. But first of all, what did you think about watching the match back? And before you obviously certainly say that Jackson did a far better job than I did on commentary, but just kidding. But just obviously, you fellas, what did you think now that you got a chance to watch this live around the world on Sportswire Radio?
I think you did a killer job commentating. I appreciate you doing that, lending your voice to the product. So that was awesome. I feel like a jackass. Like, this is the first time I've went back and watched it since it's premiered. I've been saving it for this moment, and I know that I blacked out at one point, and that's
I mean, listen, that was like, maybe, you know what? Maybe you had enough of what's happened to you and Rob Slater. Maybe whether it's here, whether it's on XCW TV, maybe all of that frustration was put toward Michael Christian. Maybe that's what it was, because it's been a tough last few weeks for XCW, and especially a tough last few weeks for you guys. And as a matter of fact, you guys have had a tough even past couple of months. It's not been easy, and obviously you're dealing with stuff at home and Esther Jane, and dealing with that, and then obviously doing what's you've seen in XCW TV to you guys and here on this platform, and unfortunately, Michael Christian, you took it out on him. I think that's what I learned tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the justification. I just wasn't in the right headspace, and sometimes I just get too angry, and that's what happened then. I got demons. We all got demons, and I saw Michael as one that day.
Michael, first of all, how's the back doing? How's the back? Have you recovered from the back? I mean, is it still pink? Is it still as pink eye?
When I put on my nice little dress shirt here, I know there's going to be a bloodstanders 2 on the back. I don't care, though, because guess what? I did something Owen Black, heck, Brandon Hobbs, anyone. No one's gotten into your head like I did, Justin.
Not even DJ Walbert, not even Julian Void Jacobs not too long ago who tried, and Mitchell Maverick, and I mean, we can go up and down the list. Fletch, I mean, let's not even go there. Your history between you and Fletch and everything else. But, Michael Christian, maybe you did successfully get into Justin Parsley's head. Maybe you did play mind games. Maybe you lost the battle but didn't win the war.
Maybe it wasn't about the win. Maybe it was about unlocking this Justin Parsley. I've been watching on UWI for how long?
Going back years, over 15 years.
Hunger, Justin? Where's that hunger at? You don't need to rely on a tag team partner or a manager. You are more than man enough to go at a singles title by yourself.
Wait. Let me ask you a question. You said something here, boy. This got interesting. You mean to tell me, Michael Christian, are you telling us, for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, that Justin Parsley has lost his hunger? He's lost his maybe I don't know, his old self? Is that what you're telling us? That Justin Parsley is not the first real wrestler anymore from Mulholland Drive, and he's not the guy that was Parsley? Is that what you're telling us here right now?
He's not Justin Parsley right now. He's Justin partially himself.
No, see, I've always been Parsley's, and I found it these past few years, and I found a way to market it, okay? We're all pieces of shit walking God's green earth, right? We're all sinners. We all fall short in every way possible. Well, I acknowledge mine, and I use mine to my advantage and get inside of my opponent's heads that way. If this is all just a big mind game to you, then let's go ahead and we're going to close the book on it. I'm going to go ahead and extend an invitation to you. It's been a year since I've met you. Let's say 1 year date. Let's have an anniversary, me and you, anniversary date. Extreme King, I cordially invite you to come down to XCW and attend Extreme King, my guest of honor. What do you say to that, Michael?
I'll be there if my cards are right. If it matters, if I got to take time off of work, if I got to go pick my kids up early from school, we'll make it a Father's Day date.
Wait. Time out for a second. Time out. Now, this is a pipe bomb, and we really unleashed a pipe bomb. You mean to tell me, Justin Parsley, that you've gone out of your way, certainly without permission of the hierarchy in XCW, to actually extend an invite to Michael Christian to show up in Extreme King? Is that basically what you're telling us right now?
I want Michael Christian at Extreme King. I want him at our 1 year anniversary date, so he and I can have a heart to heart, so we can sit down and we can finish this and shut the book on it. Close this chapter and move on. So, Michael Christian, if you would like to come down to the St. Paul Gym or the Mainstay Arena, I have a front row seat with your name on it. Please be my guest.
I'll happily go, but I'm not.
The mind games are done. We're not doing mind games. We're not playing mind games. This is not Justin Parsley.
This isn't 1997 anymore?
Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, it's not 2002. It's not 2004. I am a sleaze. I'll get the job done, but it's not because of you or anybody else getting in here and helping me get it done.
Justin, you may have caused me physical pain. I'm going to have scars on the back, possibly for the rest of my life, but I've caused you a scar that's never going to go away.
You know, Justin Parsley, I've gotten a chance to know you a while now. I think I've known you for about almost 9 months now, give or take. And you've been and we shared some jokes. We even brought up a podcast you did with a guy, and you didn't talk much of it. You spoke more in Circle of Jerks episode 53, and in those episodes you did. I didn't know what you were talking about in those podcasts, but I think the first time here I saw somebody, and not even other people that have come on when you've been on here at the same time, and I haven't really spoke about EBW and those that you've competed with for the tag team championship next year. But I see a guy here right now, Michael Christian, who, he called his shot, and maybe he didn't quite get his shot, but you know what? He still gets another crack at the bat. He gets to go up at the plate, it seems like, and you know what? He seems to be the first guy I've seen in 9 months that he's taking it to you for a change. Usually you're the one that comes up with the pot shots. You're the one that's always clever. You're the one that's always quick on your feet. You're the one that's always got those clever instincts, those veteran instincts to always outthink those that come on here and your opponents. But this guy here, Michael Christian, who's got nothing to lose, complete total underdog of anybody. He's got nothing to lose. He's got nothing to gain. And it seems like tonight, he's taking it to you for a change.
Well, I feel if we were to ask Michael Christian who his inspirations were and what he studied and how he knows so much about Justin Parsley, we would have a better understanding of where he comes from and his resources to getting here. I know what he's doing. He wants Justin Parsley to beat himself, and his entire life he has. But now I'm on a roll. Now things cannot go wrong, and it's not going to start. The spiral out of control doesn't begin with you. It was a blackout moment. We have them. I have demons. I need to battle.
That was painful. That was like, you snapped. That was somebody. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some of the people I've seen do things like that. Ken Shamrock comes to mind, where he would just snap, and it would take countless number of referees to break him up. Mankind famously has done things like that with his mandible claw. We've seen very few people in this sport snap, and you snapped just like that, and you let a guy that really, for the most part, he's not a true in-ring competitor, and he may not have won tonight, but maybe he won the war because you extended him an invite to Extreme King that was completely unscripted. That wasn't with permission of management. That wasn't basically, that was you on your own say, Michael Christian, I want you to show up to Extreme King. What do you say to that?
I guess I'm going back to my old ways. Yeah, Michael, be there, dude. Be there or be square. Front row. Bring the whole family.
Oh, trust me, the family will be there. Because I'll tell you one thing, Justin. You know a lot about me because we talked, every day up until episode 53? We talked pretty much every day. I congratulated you on your daughter being born a few days ago. Again, congratulations, but I will not attack you as a father because you are a damn good one. I will tell you that to your face. But one thing you know about me is I am an addict. It doesn't matter if it's alcohol or pain. I will fight and scratch till I get everything I want.
Well, are you saying that you're an addict and that you're going to do, like any addict, any means necessary to get what you want? And that's to get maybe the real Justin Parsley according to what you're telling us tonight. Is that what you're telling us?
You can take it how you want it. It's words. It's words. They can be taken any way you want it.
Absolutely.
You say you hide your demons. I wear mine on my chest with all my other scars.
I pray mine away every chance I get. That time in the ring, that day in the ring, I didn't have enough time to hit my knees. So I brought you to yours.
Your best shot, I took every single one of your shots and stood back up. If you didn't watch that clip, because the cameraman's, who knows, he could be shoddy, he could be focusing on the fear in Justin's eyes, but I was laughing in his face after I pushed myself up off the mat.
You know, I want to say this, and watching that match, and Justin Parsley, I got a surprise for you coming up here in a few minutes. So it seems like Michael Christian did something to trigger somebody else. But you know, Michael Christian, as I'm watching that match, and yes, you could certainly bring Everett with you here. And
Everett,
maybe
yeah.
we're going to bring Everest here because you know what? Maybe you had inspiration from the family after what Seminole Warrior said. But you know what, Michael Christian? The longer that match went, you proved that, you know what? It's not a novelty act. You're not a one-hit wonder. You're not some guy that a company that a handful of people watch, that maybe the only other people were comparable to was some guy named Silverwolf and some guy named Loose Cannon and, you know, the usual suspects that might say they can be in the ring. You went from a guy that maybe we would have put in that category to a guy that, you know what? Maybe you should be back in the ring. Maybe you proved that you could take the pain. Maybe you proved that you could hang in there with a Hall of Famer. And the guy that only holds one half of the second longest running tag team championship reign in XCW history. Maybe you showed that you could hang with the guy that defeated the owner of XCW at the biggest show that XCW has in the company's history that took place 8 months ago, 9 months ago. Maybe you showed that you could hang with the guy that has been dealing with outsiders and insiders and those that might be EBW, and I still want to know who says EBW. But the point is that maybe you really showed that you're the real wrestler. Maybe it's you, Michael Christian, because you went from the novelty, the punchline, to the guy that, you know what, took the punches, and maybe, you know what, I don't know if I'd want to punch you back because you showed that you could hang with a Hall of Famer and some.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. Or maybe I'm just buzzed enough to get through the day.
Are you crazy, Michael Christian? Is that what you're telling us? You're crazy, and you're crazy for punishment, and you're crazy for pain, and you're so crazy that you want a real wrestler, a man that is Parsley's, a sleaze, as he calls himself, that you want more punishment, and you'll do whatever it takes to unleash Justin Parsley from what maybe those once knew and those that have been on this platform have long wanted to see?
Maybe I want the Justin Parsley from UWI, the guy who had the face paint, because you called me out for hiding from face paint. I don't need to anymore. Look at this face. There's scars, there's burns, there's hair missing because I'm getting old. The reason I dyed my hair is for the gray, but
You can't be that old. I mean, you can't be
maybe
Festus
I'll cut
old.
my hair. Maybe I'll cut my hair. Maybe I won't. But if we can find a time and a date, I don't care when, where. My schedule's pretty free. But if you got the balls to show up, I'm pretty sure if what is his name? The Seminole Warrior. I'm sorry.
Oh, well,
PG, I am sorry. I'm sorry,
It's okay.
Tom.
You got Everest there too. You want to make sure the baby's there.
Yeah. But if he wants to show up too, maybe or maybe not, I'll have backup. Or
Wait, you said backup? Maybe you'd have backup.
I'm a cross country runner. We run in groups of 7 normally. Or maybe I'll just have Everest do it for me.
But you know what? Did you call Justin Parsley, what we've seen here on this platform over the past 9 months, a watered down Justin Parsley? Almost like a corporate Justin Parsley, a sellout Justin Parsley. Is that what you're telling us here tonight?
More like a Justin Parsley who's afraid of going that deep. I wanted to find something and someone who can compete with my darkness. If it's you shedding a little bit of your light, the nice little halo you got going there, maybe you can compete with the Horns.
But you know, Justin Parsley, you're in for something else right now because there's somebody else now who saw what Michael Christian did in the ring and has seen what Michael Christian's been doing to you right now live. And apparently he's so motivated that he specifically wants to say something to you directly. And I guess he saw what Michael Christian is doing, and he says, you know what? Why not go for the jugular? Why not really say a few things that, you know what, maybe he wants another encounter, and he's requested a chance to speak with you, and I'm certainly not going to deny him because he's a man you know very well, and I'm bringing him here right now, and I'm talking about none other than the IMF World Heavyweight Champion, the popular heel monster himself, Soldier GP. Soldier, I'm going to let you take a fight.
It's me.
What's up, GP?
Listen, man. You're coming here. So you're coming here May 11th at Raising the Cage to confront me, the IMF World Champion, the only world title that means a goddamn thing in wrestling. And you had so much trouble beating that little kid? What do you think I'm going to do to you? And I hope that I get the Parsley that whooped him with that belt. Because that's the Parsley you're going to need to have any chance of taking my title.
It's so crazy because you and Michael and Tom and Omen and everybody wants that fire from Parsley again. But when it comes out, you don't want it. When you're on the other end of it, you don't want to feel it. Michael, were the lashings comfortable?
The foundation should take. I think the foundation should take credit for this changing of a Parsley, because this Parsley didn't start changing until we beat the shit out of you in that first encounters. And you started changing up, and you actually put your big boy pants on for that second encounters. And then look at everything else. You know, your boss, you know, was promoting us. We were supposed to be there. You worried about. So I feel like the foundation should take definitely credit for this Parsley.
Well, you guys named like the foundation.
So you're the man in charge? But hold on. But you're the leader of the real ones? The real ones, you're the leader, right?
I've never said that. You said that just now.
Because
sure.
I remember because I remember giving that shot to whoever beat us, and you both pinned us. But Rob, I ain't heard nothing wanting that shot at the title. So that means you're in charge of the team, right?
I think it's just like when Omen was in a cast, I wasn't going to beat the hell out of your partner with a broken arm. I don't think that you need to be in the ring with Rob with his knee the way that it is. I'm stepping up and doing my part. I'm the flag bearer.
I feel
I'm
like,
not the leader.
you know, but the fact that I haven't. So you're the leader, saying you're the leader and saying the real ones, both the real ones aren't coming. Like it was supposed to be a triple threat because you're both pinned, Omen. So like you're both I gave both of you guys a shot, but the only person I hear is little Justin Parsley. And I'm not really worried about you now that I've seen this match with Michael Christian. Because I'm better than Michael Christian.
Yeah, you've been in the ring with me. You know that my style
roster. So sure. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. The last time we got to, I threw you off a balcony.
Mm-hmm. That was right, and that was just right. That was just before. Yeah, I pinned your partner's shoulders to the mats for 3.
You never pinned me.
Yeah, I thought I would do that in Iowa.
Oh, whoa. Did I just hear that you said you were going to pin him in another state?
I thought I would do that in Iowa, yeah. But since you're already booked for May 11th, I won't come there and steal the spotlight from whoever your opponent is. No offense. I don't want to take anything away from them. They're not Justin Parsley. But what's your next show? June 8th?
Okay, well, I'll say this. When I beat Prince of Chia, because I'm going to beat Prince of Chia, June 8th, show up. And I'm going to beat you too.
You give me a microphone on May 11th, I'll show up June 8th and you and I can do it.
So you're saying your calendar is open on June 8th?
Give you a mic on May 11th.
That's right. You let me say what I need to say?
I will give you a mic on May 11th.
All right. Then it's on.
You can say whatever
June
you want
8th,
to
me
say.
and you.
But I can't.
Yeah.
But I can't. The consequences of what you say is not on my hands.
No, it'll be your blood on mine.
Happy Father's Day, I suppose, huh? Happy Father's Day, I suppose.
Don't bring your kids.
Nope, Father's Day is my date with Justin.
Kids. Parsley, don't bring your kids. And don't bring this Iowa trip in June as a Father's Day trip. Because when I'm done with you, they're not going to remember you. They're not going to recognize your face. And I'll be their new dad.
It's going to be a vacation. And the only thing they won't recognize is why I'm wearing that's 10 pounds of gold coming back to Indiana.
And Michael Christian, you might be seeing Justin Parsley with some extra gold there, huh? I mean, before I do anything else, let me say hello to a few people. I want to say hello to my guest tomorrow afternoon, New York time, who's going to go and become the next member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, Mr. Brad Coleman. Mr. Coleman is here out in 4:20 in the morning UK time. How you doing, Brad? A guy that you certainly know very well. Maybe you've said a few things about him, seen him. His name is James Taylor.
He works for me. He works for me. He works for me, right?
Well, he's an active member of our. He's an active member of the roster, but he's also said that he will make his own decisions on what he decides to do in the ring. So I don't know what that means. So
that sounds like a coward. That sounds like a coward.
Well, I'm going to certainly let him address that when that time comes. But I wanted to say hello to my guest also Monday night, another world champion, the CCW Underground champion of the world, Mr. Jam Dog himself, who's also up at 4:20 a.m. Certainly, 4:20. Get the irony. But where will the show be? The Palo Community Center. And you can find out more information, IMF Wrestling 666. Also, Iowa Midwest Federation Wrestling is where you can check out more information on Facebook, IMF_wrestling on Instagram. So we will have coverage about 2 days before May 11th, so you'll certainly want to tune in. And plus, next week, the resident rock star, Sean Jovi's going to be here live, and he's going to have an announcement. So you might want to tune into that one, because the resident rock star, Sean Jovi, has an announcement that, in fact, every backyard wrestler, every underground wrestler might want to hear and might want to pay attention to, because I promise you, it's going to be a real pipe bomb. It's going to be a real one, maybe. No, it's a good one. It's a really one. Yeah, I see that. All right, before we move on here, is there anything else you want to say? So I'm just going to wrap the show up here in a few minutes. Anything else you want to say to Mr. Parsley or Mr. Christian?
I like the whippings, kid, and you took those like a man, but you took them from a bitch, Parsley. So, anyways,
we both know this. We both know this. That's why he had to. That's why he had to borrow Mandy's balls.
Whoa.
I hope you're ready, because this isn't a tag match. See, you're a tag team wrestler. I'm a tag team wrestler, but I also dominate as a single competitor, and I've dominated this title run. I beat Tommy Merriman pretty badly. I've beaten the likes of
Deceive.
Raven Rage.
Deceive.
Multiple times.
Big star, by the way. Deceive.
Yeah. At the cage. I said Deceive. I've said Deceive multiple times. I said I beat him multiple times. I just got done beating him for my dad.
I know. So, I watched it.
I hope you're ready, because after the Prince of Chia, in the words of Goldberg, you're next.
Ooh. You know
Feed
what?
Me more, bitch. Feed me more.
This is real. This is not. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to get to everybody's closing thoughts here shortly, because this was real tonight. This was not scripted. This was not, hey. No, this was stuff tonight that this was definitely breaking the fourth wall. This was definitely going, maybe in some cases, below the belt. Maybe the belt wasn't enough. It's turned into personal between these three men, and I certainly wouldn't want to be in the middle of it. And if you want to find out more on these guys, first of all, you can go to the IMF's page, IMF Wrestling 666 on YouTube, IMF Wrestling on Instagram at IMF_Wrestling, Facebook, Iowa Midwest Federation Wrestling, and their next show is coming up at Rage in the Cage, and that's going to be on May the 11th, and we're going to have all the gang on here May the 9th, so you're going to want to tune into that one here, and also check us out on YouTube at Sportswire Radio 6579, so hit that sub button for us. Also, here on YouTube, support XCW All Access, where you can watch Justin Parsley and Michael Christian once again, and maybe do your own commentary. XCW Wrestling 1 on YouTube, XCW Shelbyville on Facebook, XCW_Shelbyville on Instagram, XC Wrestling 1 on Twitter, and also go to the XCW website, which is below here if you want to buy some merchandise to really support XCW or really support those like Justin Parsley. Maybe we'll see some SFW merchandise soon, because maybe Michael Christian's showing that, you know what, he can hang in after all. But let's give everybody some closing thoughts. I heard Soldier's thoughts. Michael Christian, you know what? You definitely.
This is bullshit, Tom. Every time you've invited me on to Sportswire, it's been nothing but respectful, and it's been an enjoyable experience. And this has been bullshit. If you're gonna invite me on with stuff like this with these two, and you're gonna invite me on, you're gonna talk to me that way, I'm done.
Stop whining.
I'm not playing these fucking.
Stop whining. He's a whiner.
I think mind games tonight were played. Michael Christian, you may not have won the battle, but you know what? You didn't lose the war, because Justin Parsley snapped tonight.
I respect you getting up. Real talk.
Justin Parsley snapped. This is real. Justin Parsley snapped tonight. He snapped. This is, I don't even know what. He's lost it. Listen, you thought Craven Rage was bad, or the Silver Wolf guys when they come on, and the Loose Cannon guys. No, Justin Parsley really snapped tonight. Michael Christian, I want to give you the floor here, because you know what, Michael Christian, maybe you were the winner after all. That's why I'm giving you the floor. And you know what, Michael?
I agree.
Maybe you won, and maybe you are the real one. Maybe you're the real one, and you're gonna get some real closing thoughts right now, Michael.
I'll leave you with a closing thought. You ever wonder why I am so calm? It's because I ran out of prayers the day my twins were born. I didn't know if I'd be able to have kids the next day. I will give my heart and soul to whatever I do. It doesn't matter if I'm taking out the mail, picking up the mail, doing a push-up to get something out from under the couch. I will give it my all until the end of the day. Until this heart is not beating and I cannot see. I don't care. I will give it my all. And GP, I respect you the hell out of you, man. If you ever need to talk, like if you're ever in a dark headspace, you know where to find me.
You know what? I tell you what, Michael Christian, you showed something tonight. You showed some grapefruits, and you know what? You showed. I tell you what, you know what? There are guys that come on here. Yeah, I want to challenge this guy. Yeah, I want to challenge that guy. You know what? You weren't in that category because you know what? You took the pain like a man. You got up. You looked it in the eye. And you know what? You took a guy that's a multiple-time Hall of Famer and just came off the second longest run of any XCW Tag Team Champion in that company's history, and you ran him off the show. So you know what, Michael Christian? You hung in there, and you know what? You got a lot of people's respect tonight. You got a lot of people's respect, and we'll certainly see what the future brings. And fellas, I think on this note that this was a real one tonight, and I'm sure we'll have some real talk coming up real soon between all three of you guys. So, yeah, that was real, and that's where you need to find XCW and IMF. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where if all wrestling matters to you, check us out anytime on all of our links below. And I'll be back here tomorrow afternoon to induct Mr. Brad Coleman into the Hall of Fame. Speaking of guys who really have a lot to say when it comes to UK wrestling, you'll certainly want to hear what Brad Coleman has to say. But until then, I want to thank everybody here for tuning in. I think this is the comment of the night for you. Mike should drink to that. There you go. You know what? Mike should drink to that.
Y'all want to know the killer part? This is actually non-alcoholic. I'm just drinking it just because I like the taste of vodka, whiskey. But
I think that you're playing mind games, and Justin Parsley certainly bought into it. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we're really going to end off that. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters, and definitely drink to supporting XCW and IMF.